semi-final place. He won 4 of his first 5 matches, so that meant that he was through with a match to spare, which was just as well, really, because he finished off with a 3-0 defeat to Judd Trump. That wasn't enough to get Trump through, though. Stuart Bingham only won 1 match, so he finished bottom, the 2015 winner. And then it all finished with Neil Robertson needing to beat Bingham in his last match to edge out Mark Selby. And that was just what he did. So the world number 1, Selby, has still never won the Championship League.
Well,
it's a fine start to the evening for Gould. As he gradually picks off the open reds, he's going to have to go into that cluster soon enough. It's actually the 9th time they've played in the Championship League. Of the previous 8, Gould has won 5. The most recent of those was just yesterday. Gould winning 3-2 right at the start of this winners group. That's turned out nicely. Really now, it'll be quite a surprise if he doesn't lead 1-0. Just 1 more red needed after this one. Sorry, we'll need a colour off this as well. 66 in front, 67 left. nothing that creates a feel-good factor for professional snooker players, quite like winning the first frame of a match in a single visit. And that's what Gould has surely done now. Off to an absolute flyer.
Eighty. It's enough. Right.
Gould's had 3 centuries already in this winners group.
97.
He also had one in the group that he won to get here.
98.
And there's another one to add to the collection.
$105.
You could make this even better, because 136 by Judd Trump stands as the highest break in the winners group. There's £1,000 for that. Oh, well, Gould isn't going to take it off him just yet. But 105 from his first scoring visit of the evening. Great start for Martin Gould, and already he leads the defending champion John Higgins by 1 frame to 0. Also a fairly swift opening frame on the other table. Jack Lazowski, who's looking to win the Championship League at his first attempt. He's 1-0 up against Neil Robertson, who, perhaps surprisingly, has never actually been in the final, despite having played in every Championship League there's been. So Greg Coniglio has set them up again. John Higgins didn't get a look in that first frame, didn't score a single point. Martin Gould with the century, leading 1-0.
Frame 2. John Higgins to break.
Perhaps straight in to just pick up where he left off.
Eight. Nine. 16.
Tonight's the night when the money gets really big. £300 for every frame won. And then, of course, the bonuses to be handed out as well. 3,000 for getting this far. 5,000 if you go on to reach the final, and 10,000 if you win the title at the end of the night. Of course, that's all added to everything they've won in the round-robin stage of this winners group and in the group they won to get here. They both just played one group to qualify. So even before tonight, Gould was already guaranteed £11,500. Well, that's now up to 11,800.
24.
And Higgins was on 12,700. Earlier this week, Higgins became only the 4th player to reach £100,000 in career Championship League earnings.
25.
Most high-profile meeting of these two was in the Australian Open final of 2015.
32.
Higgins coming through only by 9 frames to 8. And they have met at the Crucible 2 years ago in the first round.
33.
Higgins went 5-0 up. Gould staged a bit of a comeback. Higgins, though, ended up winning 10-6, went on to reach the final. And apart from their meeting yesterday in this winners group, the only time they've played this season was in the English Open
40.
back in October. Higgins won 4-1. He had breaks of 98 and 105. Gould, though, had a century in the one frame that he won.
Forty-one.
I think there was general agreement coming into this winners group that it was the strongest lineup for a group we'd ever had in the 12 years of Championship League.
46.
Star names everywhere. Four world champions, 4 past winners of this title.
47.
Gould was the only one among the 7 not to be a current member of the top 16. But he's really shown that he can mix it in this sort of company. He's been in the 16 in the past, of course. Been a ranking tournament winner.
$54.
But the way he started should come as no surprise. He's played really well over the 2 days. And just as I say that,
55.
that one has gone somewhat astray.
Gould, 55.
So no clean kill this time, but 55-point lead and a decent safety. That will do nicely. By playing that good safety, he may just have forced an opening to get straight back in.
1.
Well, what a chance this is for 2-0 in no time at all, really. Some anxious looks there from Martin Gould. I think it always looks more likely than not to get there.
6.
So 62 in front. Black to make it 69 with 67 left. The dream start set to continue for the former German Masters champion from London.
$14. 50.
Well, there's a bit more insurance. With the black surely to follow, Higgins won't be coming back to the table in this frame. And having battled so hard in that match earlier against Jack Lazowski to get through to the semi-finals,
22.
Higgins is barely getting to feature at all.
23. $29. 30. $37. 38. 45. 14 Gould,
Doesn't matter about
45
that.
on the frame.
Breaks of 55 and 45 then for Martin Gould. He won the first frame in a single visit. He's added the second frame in 2 visits. And very quickly, Gould is on the brink of a place in the Championship League final. He leads the defending champion John Higgins by 2 frames to 0. There's a similar state of affairs on the other table. Jack Lazowski, 2-0 up against Neil Robertson. So in both cases, the match is going against the world rankings so far. It's the 2 past world champions who find themselves fighting a rearguard action. Martin Gould then, to start us off in frame 3. 3 to play. He needs just one of them to claim a place in the final for the third time in his career.
Martin Gould.
As for the previous two, I already mentioned that he won the title 6 years ago, and the following year he almost retained it, beaten 3-1 in the final by Judd Trump. And if he does get through, he'll be only the second player to reach the Championship League final on 3 separate occasions. Trump is the other one. He's been there 4 times. So far in this final, Gould has scored 205 points to 0. And finally, in frame 3, Higgins breaks his duck.
Eight. Nine.
He's followed a clear strategy for this year's Championship League. Came in Group 7 in both of the last 2 years. Both times won it. Both times went on to win the winners' group later in the week. And I don't think there can be any doubt now, bearing in mind that Group 7
16.
and the winners' group are always played back-to-back in the final week of the Championship League, that if you've come through that last group, it does give you some sort of advantage. In the 11 previous years, 5 times the winner has been the player, has played himself in over the 2 days of Group 7 on the tables. Having done that the last 2 years, Higgins decided no reason to change a winning formula. So came in for Group 7 again, won it, played brilliantly in it. It was only the 5th time ever in 95 Championship League groups that somebody had won 8 out of 8, all 6 round robin matches, then the semi-final and the final.
Five. Blue one.
Well, I said Higgins hadn't scored a point in the first 2 frames. Didn't really get much of a chance to. He's right in among them now. He certainly won't let his head drop. He's already won 1 match from 2-0 down today.
John Higgins, 30.
But never mind his head not dropping. That ball didn't drop. And that's the look of a man who knows that he's really up against it here. And hasn't helped his own cause with that shot. Great shot from Gould. Now, is he on something?
1.
Well, he's on the pink. Well, I don't think he's on a red to middle.
7.
The body language would certainly suggest that what looked like a fairly straightforward positional shot may have gone wrong. I think a little extra pressure was added to that long red by the knowledge that he probably shouldn't have left himself needing to play it. Oh, that's worked out perfectly. Nice pot to the middle. Cannon on the black, nudging it over the pocket. There's no question about it. Just a few moments ago, Higgins must have thought there was every chance he'd played his last shot
8.
in this year's Championship League.
Nine. $15.
John Higgins has achieved many great things
6.
in his career. He's without doubt one of the top 5 greatest players of all time. One thing he's never done, though, is win the same tournament 3 years in a row. Still battling away here, trying to make it happen
20.
for the first time tonight. Mind you, John, of course, is a keen, lifelong Celtic fan. They're closing in on winning the Scottish League for the 8th year in a row. So he might not be greatly impressed with his own feat by comparison.
26. $27.
Oh, he's overplayed this.
First.
Well, he may well have had a big bounce off the cushion there. Either way, just a couple of balls away from clinching the third frame. He's out of position.
Higgins, third.
So 2 breaks of 30, putting Higgins in charge of this frame. But not over the line yet. Wasn't an easy shot at all, and it's not turned out as intended. This red is on to the middle. Over to the corner. Fantastic shot. Now, this is far from straightforward, but it's a chance for Gould to claim his place in the final.
Eight. Nine. Brown ball.
Well, that was a testing shot. It's a test he's come through with flying colours.
30.
And getting rid of this awkward red on the ball cushion. And arguably turn Gould into the favourite now for this frame.
Yeah. 40.
It really hasn't been much of a season for him at all. He's missed a lot of events, and those he's played in, he's gone out of a lot of them early on. He's number 71 on the one-year list. Recently beaten 6-0 by Rod Lawler in qualifying for the China Open. So he's come here looking for a lift.
80.
If he could walk off with the Championship League title for a second time tonight, that could really start to turn things around for him. Particularly when you consider the opposition he's had to see off over the 2 days. Still some way to go yet, but every chance that in the next few minutes he could be through to the final. He's been in exalted company in this group. He'd certainly be in Very high-profile company if he did win the title. The only other players to have won it on more than one occasion
7.
are the 3-time champion Judd Trump. And the man sitting on the other side of that green pocket, John Higgins. And he's just come a little bit short on the yellow.
30.
Shouldn't be any real problem. Just don't want to give things a chance to go wrong at all when you're in a situation like this. Trying to close out frame and match. But it's really hard to see how he won't do so now.
$35.
Just needs the 4 remaining colours. And it looks as though John Higgins' grip on this title, he played great in Group 7 to give himself a chance to win it again. And then battled through brilliantly earlier today against Jack Lazowski.
$44.
But he won't be completing the hat-trick now. What a performance this has been from Martin Gould. Started off with a century. And finishes with a 57 clearance to win the frame on the black and knock out the defending champion John Higgins. Martin Gould the winner by 3 frames to 0, and he's through to the 2019 Championship League final.